The third video in our series on the wave looks at what some of the possibilities are of what could constitute a wave. Hello, Sharif here, and today in this video I'm going to be talking about the wave, and I'm going to be looking at some of the possibilities, some of the guesses that I've got on what could happen in the wave and what could be the triggering aspect of the wave. As you know from listening to the prior couple of videos, and if you haven't, I would suggest you do that. I don't know what the wave is going to be. I don't know what it will entail. I don't think anybody knows. It's just that over the next 3 to 6 months or so, we are going to have experiences of a profound shift in human consciousness that will test our fundamental values, will test our fundamental ideas of what reality is, and will test our behavior as human beings on the planet. So in the prior videos, we talked about what some of the aspects of the wave may be. And those aspects will be like events for which there is no human precedence. There's nothing that in our experience level can prepare us for this. Well, what could some of those things be? And I'm a bit hesitant to talk about this because as soon as I talk about it, people say, oh, Sharif is predicting alien contact, or Sharif is predicting the sun's going to go out, or whatever. And no, I'm not. I'm predicting something is going to happen. I'm saying these are some of the possible some things, but I'm also completely wide open to something completely different happening. Having said that, if people want to misunderstand me on that, there's no amount of videotape I'll be able to give you that will keep you from misunderstanding me. So moving on, I divide the possibilities into 3 camps. One is something that happens that's outside of our experience, but is essentially benign. You'll go to the store the next day and there'll be food on the shelves. You'll do, you'll live your life. You go to work or not go to work or whatever. The second group is something that's significant, something that changes the way that you are living and working on the planet. And then the third level is something that is what I'm calling cataclysmic, that when this happens, it's essentially game over. So there's some possible events that cross all 3 categories. And like, for example, let's say there's alien contact, that something happens on the order of what happened in the movie Arrival, that the government and the military can't cover up, can't deny. It's just the spaceship is sitting there. Deal with it. And if you notice in the movie how most people on the planet dealt with it was by rioting, looting, fighting, shooting, etc., because that's what's in their heart. What I'm suggesting is before the event happens, let's start examining what's in your heart and see whether you're going to be operating out of fear and separation, or see whether you're going to be operating out of mindfulness and connection. This is what's behind the workshop that I am having in February, practicing the 12 steps of inclusivity. Let's get to the point that we can be mindful in situations like this. Another aspect that can cross from being benign to significant to possibly cataclysmic is that there's a spontaneous opening of what I call the 5 latent powers. If you don't know what I mean by the 5 latent powers, I will put an explanation video in the comment box for this video, where I spend a lot of time talking about the possibility of a spontaneous opening of the latent powers that human beings have had throughout our time on the planet and have just been asleep, and we wake those up. Things like being able to move objects with our minds, things like spontaneous telepathy and knowing, things like having visions of the past, visions of the future. Those things are possibilities, and that can have a profound effect on us. Something that's in the benign to significant category is a shift of our magnetic poles. We know it's going to happen. There's no question but that it's going to happen. Is it going to happen now? Is it going to happen in the next 6 months? Is it going to happen in the next 6,000 years? No one knows. I don't know how that will change our societies. Obviously, it will have very little effect on non-industrial, non-technological societies. And I'm not sure it's going to have that profound an effect on technological societies. Something that's in the significant to cataclysmic category is either a solar flare or a direct hit from a coronal mass ejection. Okay, so forgive my analogy, but a solar flare is like the sun farting. A coronal mass ejection is like the sun taking a dump on us, where we actually get hit by sun material. Well, first of all, it's never ever happened in a technological society before. We can model it, but we literally have no idea what's going on. What would happen? One of the things that possibly could happen is anything that operates with electricity goes off and stays off, possibly forever. Now, think about what that means in our society. From the time that Benjamin Franklin went outside with a kite and a key and started actually formulating the laws of electricity, the electrical power has never been off. Now, of course, all of us have had power outages in our local environment, and we use the rest of the grid to reboot that system. What happens when the whole thing goes down and goes down forever? That's why this is in the significant to cataclysmic category. Another thing that could happen, we do have some experience with this, is that money disappears. And in societies like Argentina in 2000, like Greece, like almost forever, when that happens, we get thrown into either living in community with each other, or we get thrown into living me first, screw you, and I got to get a gun to protect all the stuff that I have accumulated. Obviously, there's lots and lots of other ways that this wave could manifest itself. There are combinations of things that could happen where the wave would manifest itself. Some of the things that could happen are in the realm of religion and spirituality, where we begin to understand more of who we are in a non-bodied sense. And some people will will love that, and other people will, I can't accept that, and then we will deal with all that. Again, my role is to help you to see what happens in the next 3 to 6 months and to help you to expand into this, to literally ride the top of the wave. One of the things that happens when you see surfers, and some of you may be surfers, is that the surfer and their surfboard may be, 20 feet above the bottom of the ocean, 50 feet, 100 feet. It doesn't matter how deep the ocean is when you're riding across the top. Practicing the 12 steps of inclusivity is to help you to ride across the top. There may be other people who can help you do that better, in which case, go in that direction. There may be other situations that you want to explore. You should explore that. But you should do something. You will, if you do something and nothing happens, you're just a better person for no reason at all. And if you do something and you really need it, you will thank me. You'll thank yourself for having done it. And we will pull through all of this together. In our next video, I'm going to be exploring who you have to be in order for this to work. So thank you. Our workshop on practicing the 12 steps of inclusivity starts on the 2nd of February. Please click on the links in the comment section below this video in order to find out more about how you can sign up for the workshop.